All right, Ellen, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I'd love to start by asking you, how long have you been practicing yoga? When did you start? And what or who brought you to your first class?
Okay, so I started yoga, and it's been an interrupted journey, but I started yoga in June 2003. And I went to a studio in Barrie, Vermont. And the reason I went was because my daughter, Sarah, and my other daughter, Marla, were both just fascinated with yoga. And they had been taking classes, and there were now going to be classes close to where I was living. So my husband and I went really to satisfy our daughter. So I only went that one time, and then we moved to Windsor, so we weren't near any yoga studio. Then Sarah moved to Maine and opened the studio here, so we would come visit her, and when we would visit her, we would do yoga again. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't practice fully until I retired in December of 2015, and I started doing yoga when I moved to the area. So I came to Sarah's studio, and she was really the reason that I did it, because she and her sister both, they just talked about it all the time, that their whole lives were wrapped up in it, and they seemed so excited about it. And we had been a family. We did a lot of exercise in our lives together, so it was like we should really explore this adventure that they're on. So that's really how it started.
So you've practiced in many different studios. Is there something that you notice about all the studios when you go to them that's kind of similar when you practice?
Well, first of all, the Bikram is similar. I mean, wherever you go, it's the very same thing. You get different teachers, but you're doing the same postures, and they're all just as concerned that you do them correctly. Mm-hmm. And they all say the very same thing that I love, and that is work with the body you have today. Because we always want to talk about the body we used to have or the one we're going to have, and that's I like that theme. And there are some days when you come to yoga that it's not the body that you want to have. Mm-hmm. And that's a good reminder. Just work with what you have today and pay attention to your body,
Yeah. So what are the changes you noticed from when you were practicing, sporadically to kind of doing a, pretty regular yoga practice?
Well, that was like an occasional thing, so I wasn't really engaged.
Yeah.
What I found when I began practicing regularly, I would come like maybe 2-3 times a week, and sometimes try to do 4. But I decided to do the challenge a year ago in March. Mm-hmm. And Jalen told me that they needed losers, so I should try it. And the only reason was because I was going to be traveling. So he said, set a goal for yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do all 42 days.
Yeah.
Do what you think would work. So I said, I'll do 5 days a week.
Yep.
And that was really a big transition for me, because I just kept coming and doing it, and it just became really so much a part of my every week of living. Mm-hmm. Was to go to yoga, and eventually, I came, and it became more of being part of it. Mm-hmm. And being part of the community, which isn't something that I really thought much about. I thought it was going to be helpful to me. I was going to be stronger. I'm going to be more balanced. As I get older, I'm going to be able to still do things I want to do. So the bonus was the community, which is, and that's something I do see. There's also the community, the acceptance of people, of who they are, and non-judgmental. Mm-hmm. And this community of yoga here is a pretty special one. I think that the staff is dedicated to yoga, to the people. Mm-hmm. They're all very caring and compassionate. They all know what they're doing. They, pay attention to you and how you're feeling, how you're doing your postures. They don't hesitate to help you. Mm-hmm. And it's always done in a helpful way. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, when you think about it, most 5 days a week I get that. I'm surrounded by that for 90 minutes, besides the hot that I've gotten used to, because I used to hate to sweat. So when I started sweating, I thought, oh God, can I do this?
What would you tell someone who's thinking about trying a yoga class, Bikram class, but they haven't gotten themselves to the studio yet? They're a little hesitant.
Well, if someone asked me, I'd bring them. I'd say, meet me there. Okay. But I would tell them what my daughter's told me. Hydrate. Yeah. Don't eat too much before you come in. And stay in the room and breathe. Mm-hmm. But I would tell them that they should sign up for 30 days, because it's a deal. Yeah. $30 for 30 days, and you'll come more often, because you get sort of knocked out by the first one. Mm-hmm. Then you come the second time, and you probably think you did worse than the first time. But giving yourself that opportunity to come over those 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get into the life of yoga and see that, gee, in a matter of a week, you can touch something you couldn't touch before.
Mm-hmm.
Go a little bit further in a posture, feel a little better about it. Yeah. So and hang in there is what I would say to people.
Yes. What would you tell your daughters that they brought you to this yoga? What would you tell them? Would you?
Well, I feel like they've given. I know they knew it was going to be good for me, and you know, there's a point in your life when you have, especially daughters, that you tell them what to do, and then all of a sudden they start telling you. And I knew that they were right, but I just didn't have the time, and I knew that I wanted to do it, not just sporadically a weekend when I came here, but to really do it. So my daughters, I would thank them, because my husband and I both do yoga. My 3 daughters do yoga. My sister that's in Massachusetts, although she works too much, she does doing yoga. So it's just become a way of life, and making good choices, and being happy with me. You know, this body that you bring in, it's getting older, but it's probably doing some things I don't think it ever did before.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just say try it, because when I tell people it's hot yoga, they say, oh, you know, I can't stand to sweat, and I couldn't stand the heat. And I just say, you know, just go and be there. I did it, anybody can do it.
Nice. Thank you so much, Ellen.
Okay, that was easy.